For decades, Rob Reiner was seen as more than just a celebrated filmmaker. To many, he represented something Hollywood rarely holds on to for long: stability, consistency, and control. While his career delivered landmark films and unforgettable cultural moments, his personal life appeared calm, structured, and firmly intact. There were no loud scandals, no public meltdowns, no tabloid chaos chasing his name, just steady success paired with a seemingly grounded home life. Friends and colleagues often described him as present, not just professionally accomplished, but emotionally available. He wasn't portrayed as someone lost in fame, but as a man who showed up, a husband who came home, a father who made room for his children in a world that often pushes family aside. The Brentwood house he shared with his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, became a quiet symbol of that image: private, orderly, and carefully shielded from the disorder usually tied to celebrity life. From the outside, there were no visible cracks, no warning signs, no whispered doubts. Everything appeared balanced, even enviable. But family life is rarely defined by what the public sees. Behind closed doors, reality can move in ways no camera captures, and appearances, no matter how polished, don't always tell the full story. Rob Reiner was the father of 4 children, a role he carried with visible seriousness and pride. Tracy Reiner, his adopted daughter from a previous marriage, and the 3 children he shared with Michelle, Jake, Nick, and Romy, were often spoken of as equals in his life. Those close to the family consistently said that Reiner did not draw public or professional lines between them. He spoke about his children with warmth, openness, and a sense of responsibility, emphasizing connection over ranking or favoritism. On the surface, it appeared unified, steady, and respectful. Yet inside the household, each relationship carried its own emotional gravity. Parenting did not unfold evenly behind closed doors. Different needs, different pressures, and different struggles shaped the rhythm of family life in ways outsiders rarely saw. Love was present, but so was strain, and among those bonds, one stood out as especially fragile. The most difficult and emotionally taxing relationship was with his son, Nick. Public records and prior interviews confirmed that Nick struggled for years with substance abuse and mental health challenges. This was not a short-lived phase or a single crisis. It became a recurring presence in the family's life, marked by rehabilitation efforts, periods of instability, and long stretches of uncertainty that refused to fully resolve. Each attempt at recovery carried both promise and risk. For Rob and Michelle, this meant living in a near-constant state of alertness. Hope was often followed by fear. Progress was followed by setbacks. Moments of relief were shadowed by the possibility of relapse. Daily life became shaped by caution, concern, and emotional endurance, as every step forward carried the quiet awareness that stability could shift without warning. Like many parents facing similar circumstances, Reiner and his wife turned to professional guidance, searching for answers that never came easily. Over time, they adopted what is often described as tough love, a strategy rooted in painful restraint rather than indifference. Financial support was limited. Boundaries were enforced. These decisions were made with the belief that consequences, however harsh they felt, might interrupt the cycle and open a path toward recovery. It was a calculated risk taken out of desperation, not coldness. Years later, Rob Reiner spoke publicly about how deeply conflicted he remained over those choices. He admitted that every boundary came with emotional weight. Choosing distance over closeness was not something he ever accepted comfortably, even when the intention was protection, both for their son and for themselves. The emotional cost lingered. The silence, the space, and the unanswered questions left lasting marks that never fully faded. This was not detachment, it was fear. Fear that love, patience, and support might not be enough on their own. Fear that stepping in could sometimes make things worse instead of better. And above all, fear that every phone call could carry devastating news. Each moment of quiet brought relief and dread at the same time. In that space between hope and anxiety, they lived with constant tension, trying to balance care, survival, and the unbearable weight of uncertainty. In 2015, father and son stepped into a shared space they had never fully occupied before. True creative collaboration. Rob Reiner directed Being Charlie, a film co-written by Nick and loosely inspired by Nick's own experiences with addiction and recovery. It was not just a professional project. It was personal, exposed, and emotionally charged from the start. For both men, the set became unfamiliar ground where roles blurred and long-standing emotions surfaced without warning. Those involved in the project later described the process as intense and emotionally volatile. Old tensions that had been buried for years came back to the surface. Arguments happened, frustrations flared. There were moments when past pain clashed directly with present expectations, yet for the first time in a long while, neither could easily walk away. The work demanded engagement. It required listening rather than retreat, even when discomfort took over. Rob Reiner later acknowledged that the film opened a door into his son's internal struggle that had previously remained out of reach. Seeing Nick's story unfold through the script and performances forced him to confront emotions he had never fully understood before. Nick, in turn, admitted that working alongside his father shifted how he viewed their relationship, changing the way he understood both conflict and care. The collaboration did not fix everything. Long-standing issues did not simply disappear, but for a brief and fragile period, the distance between them narrowed, shrinking a gap that had once felt permanent and offering a moment of connection that neither had expected. In the years that followed, Nick moved through repeated cycles of sobriety and instability, never settling into anything that felt truly secure. At certain points, he lived on his parents' property, using the familiarity of that environment as a way to regain footing and restore some structure to his daily life. Those moments carried cautious expectation, brief stretches where progress seemed possible. At other times, he drifted away again, pulled back into uncertainty and distance that left the family watching and waiting. According to individuals close to the family, the emotional toll was immense. Exhaustion gradually replaced optimism. Concern stopped feeling temporary and became routine, shaping every interaction. Hope remained, but it was delicate and easily shaken, never fully solid or dependable. There was no clear ending in sight, no resolution waiting ahead, only continuation, day after day, marked by persistence, emotional strain, and an ongoing sense of uncertainty that refused to fade. In December 2025, reports described a serious confrontation during a holiday gathering attended by family members. According to secondhand accounts, tension between father and son was visible and impossible to ignore. Voices were raised, frustrations that had been building quietly over many years were said to surface all at once, breaking the sense of control the family had long tried to maintain. The atmosphere reportedly shifted from uneasy to openly strained in a matter of moments. What followed, investigators later stated, unfolded quickly and left authorities responding to an emergency situation at the family's Brentwood home. Law enforcement confirmed that a domestic incident was under investigation and that the circumstances were complex and still being reviewed. Officials emphasized that early details were preliminary and subject to verification as evidence was assessed. Nick Reiner was later taken into custody in connection with the incident, according to official statements. Authorities noted that the case involved an alleged altercation and that investigators were working to establish an accurate timeline. Legal proceedings are ongoing and no final conclusions have been reached. The investigation remains active, with officials urging caution against speculation as the process continues to unfold. In the days that followed, the entertainment industry reacted with shock, disbelief, and visible grief. Tributes and statements reflected not only the loss of 2 lives, but the unbearable realization that the tragedy emerged from within a family that had spent years trying to hold itself together. Colleagues spoke of sadness mixed with confusion, struggling to reconcile public images with the painful reality that had unfolded behind closed doors. Tracy Reiner later spoke publicly, expressing disbelief and profound sorrow. She described her parents as deeply loving, imperfect, and human, choosing words that reflected complexity rather than judgment. Her message did not focus on blame or accusation. Instead, it centered on loss of time, loss of shared moments, and loss of understanding that never fully arrived despite years of effort. Her tone underscored grief rather than anger and reflection rather than resentment. The family released a brief statement requesting privacy during the days that followed. No additional details were offered, no explanations were given. Sometimes silence carries more weight than explanation, leaving space for grief where answers cannot fully exist. This story is not about villains or easy explanations. It is not a tale built on simple blame or clean conclusions. It is about the limits of love when addiction and mental illness slowly reshape relationships until they barely resemble what they once were. It is about parents who tried everything they understood: support, distance, patience, boundaries, yet still found themselves facing outcomes they could not control. It is also about a son whose pain never fully translated into the kind of help that could bring lasting stability. His struggles existed in a space where effort and outcome never aligned, where intention did not guarantee healing. Within that gap, misunderstanding and fear quietly grew, and it is about a family whose public image concealed a private, ongoing struggle that never truly paused. What remains now are unanswered questions, enduring grief, and the heavy silence left behind. It serves as a reminder that even the most composed lives can fracture under weight no one sees from the outside, and that some battles unfold far beyond public view. If you want more carefully reconstructed documentary-style stories like this, subscribe to the channel, and if this story moved you, feel free to like, comment, and share your thoughts. We'll see you on the next one.